Welcome. In this demo, we will see the Events Cypress Automation SDK in action. We're using Cypress just as an example. Events can also integrate with other UI testing frameworks like Jest, Puppeteer, or even Selenium-based frameworks. However, in this example, we will be using Cypress. As our UI tests execute, Events will run in the background and automatically detect accessibility issues. You will be able to see that Events is very simple to use. All you need to do is follow these 4 steps. First, we add the EV Cypress package SDK into your test or your project. Then we call the EV Inject and EV Init APIs to start the Events engines in the context of our test. The third step is to use the EV Start analysis when we want the accessibility analysis to start within our test, and then we use the EV Stop analysis when we want it to stop. Once the test is run, we can see the accessibility report for that test within our Cypress test output. That's it. Let's see how it actually works. We are in VS Code. This is a test project based in Cypress. We are going to run 2 simple tests on our demo webpage and show how Events can be integrated into the test and find accessibility issues. The first step is going to the package JSON and adding the Events Cypress package as a dev dependency, as we do within test integrations. This is the spec file where I write my test. I can use the Events types for easy autocomplete or TypeScript-based projects. This is my Before Each block. Before each of my tests starts on the demo webpage, we call the EV Inject API, which injects the engines into the page. We initialize the engines and give them a configuration context or a specific selector to run on. There are several configuration options that are detailed within the documentation of the SDK. In this case, I am using this option to make sure Events does not fail my test. I just want to get the report alongside my test. I do not want to fail the build at this stage. As I get more comfortable with accessibility tests, I can change this value to true and fail the build if needed. I can even be more specific and fail a build based on specific errors. For example, fail the build if there are any keyboard accessibility errors, or if there are interactable role errors. So this was the init. Then I call the start to begin the scan. At the end of each test, I call the stop command, which results in an accessibility test report in the Cypress console. In this example, we will be running 2 tests. The first one is just opening the page without doing anything else. Events will run on the page and check just that page state for accessibility issues. The second test, which is more common in UI automation, is an actual functional test. It checks one of the main functionalities of my website, in this case, selecting some properties within the main form while clicking around and interacting with the page. As we do that, Events will be running in the background and scanning all the mutations of the DOM and the different page states that are exposed during the interaction. It will collect all the issues into one aggregated report. We call this continuous mode. Okay, that makes it 2 tests. Let's go ahead and run them. This is the terminal. First, we start the Cypress system. And this is my example integration test with the 2 separate tests. We can see the 2 tests are here. The first one just opened the page and let Events run in the background. And the second one involved interacting by clicking around over these drop-down menus and clicking the search form. Here too, Events was running in the background. As we mentioned earlier, the page is passing the tests just because we set up Events that way. But when I open the test, I can see on the After Each section all the issues Events found in this area. This is also connected to the Cypress DOM snapshot, so I can click and pin specific DOM snapshots and see what the issue was. If I right-click and choose Inspect and go to the Cypress console, I can see a detailed report. For example, we have a short summary, a detailed description of the issue. We can see the element and the DOM snippet that was involved, severity, relation to the WCAG compliance, and more. What we just saw was for the first test that only involved opening the page. In the second test, which was the interactive one, we can immediately see that Evinced found more issues. Actually, 4 more issues. They are actually hidden inside these drop-down menus on the page. Since Evinced is running in the background and this test had more interactions, exposing more DOM elements, Evinced found more issues. As you can see, the Evinced Cypress SDK gives you a powerful way to add accessibility tests to your existing UI tests with very little effort. Thank you for watching. For more information, visit us on our website, Knowledge Base, Medium blog, and CodePen profile.